is a way of making lambing to your kambing.
Ah!
Today, we are going to be talking about goat meat, or Siobhan if you want to be fancy about it. But it's been around in Filipino kitchen for centuries. It's bold, very hearty, and honestly pretty underrated.
Goats came over during the Spanish colonial period. Easier to raise than sheep and better suited to these local conditions. So when dishes like caldereta arrived, goats stepped in for lamb. Up north, the Ilocanos took it even further with papaitan, making use of every part of the animal.
And the cool thing is, every region puts its own spin on it. Basilan's goat curry carries Indian and Southeast Asian flavors from centuries of trade. Pampanga's Adobong Kambing blends indigenous souring agents with classic adobo. Familiar but layered.
That said, goat is still a niche protein here compared to neighboring countries like Indonesia and Malaysia where it's everyday food. In the Philippines, kambing holds a special place, save for special gatherings, celebrations, and things that matter.
And beyond food, goats are actually a big deal for local agriculture. Adaptable and cheap to raise, they're ideal for smallholder farmers, supporting livelihoods and food security across the country.
And honestly, the timing feels right for kambing to have a bigger moment. From Nueva Ecijas Kilawing to Basilan's goat curry, these dishes tells a rich story that's honed by history, culture, and ingenuity. So whether you've been eating kambing your whole life or you're new to it, keep an open mind, take a bite, and see what you've been missing.
Today we're gonna make adobong kambing from Pampanga. Now I got this recipe from Chef PJ, who is a restaurateur as well as food content creator. This style of adobo though, it's very traditional in a way because it does not use soy sauce. So yung pampaalat niya is the fish sauce and the salt. So first we're gonna do the garlic. So we're gonna saute that until it browns a bit. This recipe originally calls for kambing shank, so meaning yung pata dito. But for some reason, hinalo-halo nila lahat. So right now we're getting bits of ribs, buntot. You need to brown your garlic like this. To that, we're gonna add some salt, lots of black pepper, and a couple of bay leaves. Once it gets a bit of browning, we are gonna add fish sauce. We are gonna add vinegar. For this, I am using sukang irok or suka from the sugar palm tree. And actually, the scientific reason on why we don't mix this is, you see that is actually acid evaporating from the said suka. So this is a quicker way to get that harshness out rather than stirring it. At this point, we are just gonna add water, enough to cover the whole dish. And when it dries up later at hindi pa siya ganun kalambot, we can just add more. So it has been about an hour and a half. So you kind of want to present this as this. Hindi siya masyadong durog, but it's tender enough that it's fall off the bone. I am plating this na. Alright, it's time to taste this. Nika, our fellow Bisaya content creator.
Hi!
Tell us your judgment.
So sa mani nga, kanding nga.
Kanding sa Pampanga. Oh, I get the fatty.
Wow, so good. And I like how the vinegar actually complements the gaminess of the
Yep.
kambing.
What are you cooking?
Me! So I'm gonna be making goat curry.
Oh wow, from Mindanao.
From Mindanao, from Basilan. This is goat curry, a recipe by Sir Jihar Horiba Mistiri from Basilan.
Sa aming mga tribo, lalong-lalo sa aming mga yakan, marami po kasing klase ng luto ng kambing. Pero yung pinaka-paborito namin, lalo na yung mga ninuno namin, yung mga lolo't lola namin, yung kari po.
When people think of Filipino dishes, laging nasa isip pork, chicken, adobo, sinigang. But kambing dishes actually has a deeper history in Philippine cuisine, especially in Muslim communities like Lanao, Basilan, Tawi-Tawi, and Sulu. And then turmeric. We'll just blend this for a bit. This is the consistency na hinahanap natin. Half of our aromatics. Next, we're gonna add some cumin. And then, a bit of curry powder. Marinate muna natin ito ng mga 30 to 40 minutes. A bit of oil.
Pagka-marinate po noon, maggisa ng bawang, sibuyas, tanglad, luya, at saka laurel. Igisa natin siya, yung kambing na yon, saka natin ilalagay ulit yung curry powder.
Some salt and some pepper. This is optional, pero sabi ni Sir Jihar, gumagamit din daw sila ng MSG. Add na natin ang ating gata. Then, mix natin. Okay, now everything is well combined. Lulutuin lang natin to slowly, so low heat. Tapos, hanggang sa lumambot ang ating kambing and then medyo lumapot ang ating sauce. Ooh, lambot na. Sabi ni Sir Jihar, niluluto daw nila ito pagka may celebrations sa Muslim communities. I'm just gonna add 1 chili. And then we're gonna let this cook hanggang sa lumambot ang ating patatas. Then, pinakalas na ilalagay natin is ang ating cabbage. Lulutuin natin siya very quickly lang hanggang maging wilted lang siya. I have our bunso with me, Sethion Ability.
Boom. It goes so well with like the flavors of curry because of the gaminess.
Yes.
And it doesn't mask it, but the flavors complement.
Complements it, right? The
Exactly.
aromatics.
Speaking of complementing dishes, what I'm gonna be making naman is Sinampalukang Kambing.
Ooh.
All right, so I am here with
Jello.
Jello, and Jello's gonna be teaching me. You're kind of walking me through how to make Sinampalukang Kambing.
Yeah, sure. So actually, sa Bulacan, normally cook it with chicken. Kambing is more like an exotic kind of way na on making it.
Okay, so I'm just cutting up all of the aromatics, and so I have here the ginger para mabawasan ng konti yung anggo. So now I'm just gonna be cutting through the onions. I'm gonna be parboiling this with some lemongrass and some patis. That way it already has a little bit of flavor and you take away a lot of that gamey smell, yung anggo, as sinasabi natin.
So first of all, Sinampalukang has no vegetable included.
Oh, okay.
Only the sampalok and the usbong. So
Okay.
some people put some kangkong in it, pero bihira.
Okay, so our meat is done. It smells more lemongrassy and more patis-y. We were doing some usbong.
We'll add first the
Ginger.
let it saute for like 2 to 3 more minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll add the garlic and then the onion.
All right. I'm gonna be adding the kambing that we parboiled, so it smells less gamey already. So right now we're just sauteing it, making sure na nakukuha niya lahat ng aroma ng mga ginger, garlic, onions before we add water. Tapos papakuluan na natin until soft and tender.
This is a way of making lambing to your kambing.
Okay, yun na. All right, so I'm gonna add the water. Then we'll call it for about an hour. So to make the tamarind broth,
Okay.
if you know, do you just crack it open like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just snap it in the middle and then that's
All
it.
right. That's what the inside of a sampalok look like.
Yeah.
Parang kamyas. Damn. So when this is ready, the kambing should be ready as well. And we'll get back to you shortly. Now, some people don't know is that sampalok broth is very mild almost, you know. So you intensify that with the salt, with all the aromatics, but it's not super acid. Yes. All right, so I'm gonna put this to the side and let's strain it really quick. Then I'm gonna press it down a little bit just to get more of that juice, that pulp. And this is what we're gonna add to our kambing. We can add our usbong, correct, chef?
Yes.
Hit me with the chilies, chef. So let's plate it. Okay, so I have our extra taster here and my teacher over here, and we're gonna try it. Soup. Right?
Yeah. I actually really like sinampalukang manok, but it's my first time to try a kambing version, and it's good. Wala tong sinigang mix.
Wala. Sarap,
All
no?
natural.
And the usbong does add that sort of vegetable flavor. And Trisha, what will you be making?
Today, we are making Kilawing Kambing from the recipe of my tita Lawrence. I heard that she makes one of the best Kilawing Kambing.
Actually, when I was a child, I remember when my uncle, nakikita ko kung paano nila ginagawa yung kinilaw na kambing. And that's one of my favorite na niluluto nila.
So it's actually not very complicated to make. Behind the scenes, we've already parboiled the balat. Ta-da!
Iniihaw nila yung kambing kasama yung balat. Tapos, after nun iihaw, i-slice nila yon. Kapag pala sama-sama kayong nagluluto, mas masaya siya. Kasama ko yung mga uncle ko, kapatid ng mother ko, yung mga cousins ko. So, habang nagluluto, habang nag-iihaw, nagtatawanan kayo. So, yun yung memories na nami-miss ko actually hanggang ngayon.
So imagine mo nasa beach ka, nasa fiesta party, ganun. Dapat ganyan yung mindset.
Lahat.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
It's really good.
The texture is like eating pig's ear. Very macartilage.
I find it similar to the Kapampangans in Sarabasa. No, it's really good. It's really good.
Actually, parang siyang pulutan nga, Chef. Tama ka.
Thanks, Tita Lauren.
Thanks, Tita Lawrence.
Visit soon.
What are you making, Chef?
Kalderetang Kambing.
Nice, nice.
This is from a 1973 cookbook.
One pro tip I can give you guys is if gusto niyo talagang magkambing sa bahay tapos medyo nababother kayo sa initial na amoy niya, pwede niyong gawin yung, pwede niyo siyang i-marinate na lang. Or pwede nyong ibabad ng panandalian sa beer, sa gin, para lang matanggal ng onti yung anggo. Sisimulan ko na ng sibuyas, bawang, kamatis. Just wanted a bit of caramelization from my tomatoes, onions, and garlic. I'm gonna put back the kambing. Now it's time for the stock. So we'll boil this down and simmer. Bring it to a boil. Tapos once nag-boil, lower your heat, simmer. Add lang ako ng siling haba or ladyfinger. Yan, malambot na. Now I'll add in our potatoes. Simmer it for at least 5 more minutes para lang maluto. Ngayon, add ko na yung cook na. Tapos, charo or sweet peas. Ito, napakabilis lang maluto niyan. Halos 1 minuto lang. Next up is liver spread. Then, yung pimiento natin. That's it.
Uy, alam ko na agad, tinitignan ko pa lang.
Diba? Ano?
Caldereta!
Diba? Yung
Oh!
pinaka, pagsabi mong kambing, kaldereta.
Oo
So,
nga.
kaya yun yung pinili ko.
Naalala ko dati, ito talaga yung handa ng kambing kapag fiesta. And in fairness, may hab yung kaldereta. Social, may hab.
Thank you. Oo nga.
Thank you for this.
Yeah. Tapos yung original recipe nito, from scratch yung liver sauce niya. Pero ako nag-liver split. Kasi yun yung ginagamit niyang pampakapal ng stew. Yeah. So, try ko na ko.
I'm making a traditional goat recipe from Ilocos called Papaitan, and I have Mara Agdigos from Ilocos Norte to share her recipe with us.
Today, I am sharing my mom's recipe the way she has always made it for us. So first step, marinate the goat meat in calamansi juice, salt, and pepper for about 30 minutes.
We're gonna add garlic, ginger, and onions. Add na natin ang ating laman loob at goat meat. Tapos, i-brown lang natin siya. Lagay na natin ang ating pinagkuluan ng innards kanina.
This usually takes about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Now, after the goat meat becomes tender, add the signature flavor, which is the goat bile. Add gradually to match your preference. This dish is not just a food for me. It's a reminder of a family, tradition, and the beauty of coming home in the North. I hope you try this with your family and share it with the people you love, because just like the best Filipino dishes, it's meant to be enjoyed together.
Kakain na, Sir Sam! Pasok!
Cheers. Talagang boneless ah.
Ganda kasi may calamansi, so it balances out the bitterness.
But is it really soupy?
Yeah, it is soupy. The Ilocano version is soupy. Parang siyang sabaw. And usually, this is their main dish, breakfast, and pulutan. I pre-boiled the innards eh. So hindi siya masyadong malansa. Ang sarap niya.
So, may kambing na kami lahat. And it's over. We did 6 dishes. Some I've never seen before. Some I'm super familiar with. Honestly, my favorite was the papaitan. Anyway, what did you like?
I
mean,
like
if you had
yours,
to-
Chef Caldereta. It's such a classic dish.
So support each other.
Is there
I
anything-
really like my dish. Proper preparation, you could take away a lot of the game. Just that malinis kind of finish on the soup is very new to me when it comes to kambing in general.
Gets.
I love the texture play on Trish's.
Oh yeah, actually, yung ginawa yung ginawa ni
Kasi
Trish,
grilled.
masarap din.
Yung nagustuhan ko, actually yung sinampalukan.
Yeah.
Nagulat ako kasi parang sinampalukan chicken. Pero nagulat ako, may sinampalukan pala goat.
Kambing.
Kambing, oo. Ay,
Well.
masarap din yung kay Sam.
Anyway,
Yung adobo.
yeah, anyway, the point of doing ATP is always to show the people who watch us yung iba-ibang klase ng luto in certain dishes. Like, we're very thankful to the people who help us out when it comes to resource. Ulitin ko lang, we're not out here to tell everyone that we're experts. We're here to learn alongside you guys.
Yes.
So, what a great kambing experience.